going on, everybody? It's your boy Chaz C. No Roper here, and you are now tuned in to Amplifier Community Connection. And today's guest is an individual who I've known for almost 20 years now, at least. We go way back, so far back that the things this brother has accomplished in that amount of time is amazing. We some brothers from Milwaukee originally. Obviously, he did his formative years in Atlanta, Georgia. But I think we've done some amazing things to make the city of Milwaukee proud all across the world. And it's an honor that this brother took time out of his schedule to fly to Milwaukee to come and drop gems and give you the art of production. I call this brother Mr. 100% because what he can do by himself a lot of times takes a team. This man can make the beat, produce the record, vocal produce the record, engineer the record, write the record, demo the record, shoot the video for the record, all by himself, which means he covers every aspect it normally takes a team to do on his own. So I call him Mr. 100%, but the world calls him BMW Kenny. What's up, my brother?
How you doing,
Thank you for
brother?
joining me, man. I appreciate you, man. How was your flight, bro?
Hey, flight was great, man. You know.
That's what's up, man. But first of all, I want to take everybody back, man, back in the day to the youngster, Mr. Kenny Kobe, coming up, playing drums at the church. Was it Rehoboth? What church was it?
I don't know what it was.
Can't remember. But you was I saw a picture of you playing the drums in the church.
I know it was definitely Christian. It probably was Christian Faith.
Christian Faith.
Probably the beginning stages of Christian Faith.
Yeah,
before, you know what I'm saying.
Before the big church.
Yeah, yeah. I was playing with my pop. Man, he was a bass player.
Okay.
So you know, I guess I just kind of took to drums, and then he let me play. Let me actually play in front of a crowd, and ended up getting my chops a little bit early. Didn't realize it though, like I was really like setting me up for later. Right.
And to me, that's huge, man, because being able to be a musician first and then transitioning into a producer, it's kind of like having somebody who learns to play piano or guitar by ear, but then they learn to read later. Mm-hmm. What you can't teach is feel. But you can teach somebody who has feel how to learn, how to read. And that's kind of like what I like about working with people who are musicians first and then on their own playing by ear, but then they transition into a producer because the feel you guys naturally have, and then you're able to add the technical pieces to it, which is like the second to none. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. My whole family, they all was performers and did music in some kind of way. So it just was the next thing. It was a thing for me to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I remember coming up. I remember coming to your crib in the A, and your mom and pops had a group. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Going around different churches across the the southeast, performing. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, you were making like the performance tracks for them, putting everything together. You know what I mean?
I just started learning how to make beats, and my mom and dad, they were singers. That was another first introduction to music too, and I didn't really realize, but I think I was, as early as I can remember, I remember waiting in the lobby of the studio, but I didn't know what they was doing. I just knew they was in a studio. Mm-hmm. Then we went in one day, and it was, I don't know where the studio, somewhere in Milwaukee, but I remember we went in, seen a board. I didn't know what it was. It wasn't in my interest, you know what I'm saying, to even care about it. And, 20 years later, I'm in front of boards, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it didn't hit me till like last year. I was like, hold up. My mom and dad had me in the studio way early before I even knew what the studio was. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope, man. It basically in your DNA, so it's no surprise how, our generation, I call you in my generation, even though I'm a couple years older, our generation has, I was talking to my mom, and I was talking to her about how their generation was taught to work for X amount of years and get a retirement plan and a pension and things of that nature. Yeah. But then our generation was the generation of working for yourself. So a lot of us took risk where their generation were playing it more safe.
Yeah.
So your mom and dad actually kind of was teetering on taking risks, even though they may have had jobs as well while they were singing. They were still playing with the idea of taking a risk and following their dreams a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they couldn't all the way do it.
Right.
It just was kind of like the next generation is always better than it
Yes.
makes it set it up for the next generation. So
Right.
I think them trying to be artists, moving to Atlanta, leaving Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of like going on new lands and just exploring what else is out there kind of helped me later on too, because now I'll be like, if it's something better, go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really be stuck in one spot.
Right, that makes sense,
You know what
bro.
I'm
And I know it because you went from Atlanta to L.A. to Miami now, right?
Yep. Now
You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it didn't take it wasn't much of a thought process for you.
Yeah.
You was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. This the time I'm gonna do it in. I'm gone. And and like you said, it came from your parents.
Yeah.
And even us, we were just talking about our kids. We've been friends for years. We both finally are fathers now. We were basically talking about how the things we do now we used to do for ourselves in the past, but now everything we do, I do it for Deuce, you do it for Ellie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we setting them up in a position better than our parents, so on and so forth. So
I'm afraid because, I feel like I'm going to set her up too much, But,
that's how I feel too, bro.
But I kind of feel like my upbringing made me who I am. So it's like I got to try to find that balance.
Right. And that's how I feel. Like if my son want to do music, whatever, I'm gonna go get everything. When I had to kind of figure out how I'm gonna go get, you know what I'm saying? Or it's a lot easier for him to have access because I know so many people in the industry now that we didn't know. We started from ground zero for us. You know what I mean? So, and to me, that's how it's supposed to be because that's what other cultures do for their family. So it's only right for us to, if that's an interest, like I'm not gonna force it, but that's an interest for Deuce.
He said
he's ready to go. Go holler at Uncle Sounds on how to do this, or go holler at Uncle Rico on how to do this. Or he got so many uncles that's doing it at an extremely high level that I didn't have Uncle nobody. You know what I mean? I had to meet Uncle.
I wish I had somebody in the industry when I was coming up, but that they was all working.
Right.
My family, they're hardworking family. So, my pop, he kind of was on me to have a job, but what I was gonna do, my mom was like, follow your dreams, go ahead, do it.
Right.
And I started doing music professionally. At least try to. And that's what was the start.
And in the start process, when did you know that this was something you really could do? What was that moment? What was that period in time that like, okay, I did this, now I know if I can do this, I can really go to that next level? What was that moment for you?
Probably when I had a neighborhood in my house. We had a studio in the crib. My mom and dad built it for them, but they couldn't get their music like together. Like they'd be like at each other's neck when it comes to recording. It's just before auto-tune. This is before everything. So this is like we're talking about 50 takes on a one line type. You know what I'm saying? Like frustrating recording. You know what I'm saying? That's how I came up in. And now it's just pretty much you can do one take and get
doctor him up, put that sauce on him, you good. Yeah,
good. But going through that, my parents kind of like got burnt out with the music, and I took over the studio, and that's when I knew things was kind of like starting to crack because people was pulling up to the studio. I was doing studio time with people. I was working on my own music with my boy, and we had a group, and that's when I knew kind of like, okay, we're gonna start making music for everybody and see what happens, And it started out being like an engineer, just recording people. And then eventually it turned to like me doing my own music and recording my own stuff. And then we started doing it, going to demos, and music was horrible. And we thought it was hot, but we was trying to shop for a deal in New York, me and my boy. And nothing happened. And then I started producing for other people. That's when that deal didn't go down in New York, I started making beats. I'm like, I'm going to start making beats for people in the city. And that's when it started really bubbling. Then that's when I knew. I was like, all right, I told mom, like, college ain't working. It ain't going to do.
Right.
It ain't going to work for me. So I dropped out. That's when I knew I was going to do music.
Right. Now, coming like when you were because I don't know what part me and you I know we met through your cousin. What happened?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when did we meet.
So what happened was I was a high school math teacher, and I had Big Sound Studios, which I had with my boy John Daniels. We had a house on 44th and Hampton. And we were doing what you were doing in Atlanta here in Milwaukee, where everybody who would come in town or was local artists would come to our spot, Big Sound Studios, to record. So your cousin CT, Chris
Tucker.
yeah, he
That's
came
my
through.
boy.
He was one of the artists that would come record.
Yeah, Chris
And
CT put me on a lot of things. Shout out to CT, man.
Yeah.
He put me on a lot of things.
And that's
Yeah.
how we met. So somebody came in with a beat of yours, and the beat wasn't paid for. So I held the session. They couldn't even get their music till they got you taken care
Oh,
of.
yeah, I remember
And
that.
that's how we met. Because somebody was trying to do bad business with you, but it wasn't gonna happen in my spot because then it would make my business look bad. So I held on till they got you, the artists got you together. And then you was like, man, you a cool dude, bro. Let's figure out how we can, put something together. Then I had an event. I had Rockefeller, a bunch of people in town, and I flew you in because I used one of your tracks for the radio commercial on V100. It was one of your beats. So I was like, bro, let me just fly you in for the event so you can hang out. Flew you in. You had on the slick suit, and I had a car pick you up, and you came to the we had like a mansion party on the lake, all that, man. And it was that weekend. That's how we ended up building.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up building together. You know what I'm saying? From that
That was
moment.
crazy because CT, I didn't start making beats for real until CT and his boys, and they was rapping and doing stuff already. And my boy, one of my best friends was making beats for them. And they used to sleep on me. Like they thought I was weak, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And I was in Georgia making beats, and they were already in Milwaukee really rapping on Rockefeller beats. And they was like, it was a mixtape culture, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
was just rapping on a whole bunch of beats. So I'm like, I could never compete to them beats.
Right.
So eventually CT came to my house, and they stayed in my house for like a month. Like him and his boys stayed in my house for a month. My dad kicked them out eventually, but they stayed in my house for a month. That whole month, I made beats, recorded and like showed them I could make beats.
Right.
That's what turned me into a monster. That's when CT started putting me on to some people out there. Mm-hmm. And that's when we ended up linking up. But CT definitely put
he put the play together. For
he
sure.
put the play, and
Yeah.
and then he did the the BMF thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
he put me onto a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. CT was the one. That's how we connected. And then from there, we just took it to a whole nother level. We just started to build and just started, and that was it. And then I was like, yo, I'm coming down to the A, man. Let me stay at your crib. So then we just started working. And at the time, I was working with Rico and the Corner Boys. And we was vocal producing, and we were doing things like that. So that's how I literally
This was before I got with Usher, right?
Yeah, this was way before Usher. This was way before the Usher stuff. We're gonna go there next.
Oh wow.
But this is way
Man,
before.
So it has been a while.
It's been a while, bro. So this was literally that was about 20 years ago, bro. And
Sheesh.
we literally built from there. And that's how we got our relationship started. And the next thing you know, we was doing demos, working with Jacob. Like we were doing a lot of different stuff. Quentin, I met Quentin Miller with you. He was
Right.
a kid. He was like 15 or 16.
Right.
This is before he did the Drake and all that. I
Yeah.
met him at your house in y'all studio at the house.
That's my little bro.
Right. So like that's how long ago it was, man. And to just see all
I'm trying
of
to figure out Jacob too. Who I knew Jacob period because his daddy, but I'm trying to figure out who connected me with Jacob.
I don't
Was
know.
that back in the day?
I think it might. I can't remember because I can't. I don't remember, man. But I just
I was
remember.
just talking about him like it's crazy. Like when I was working with him when he was 9,
Yeah, exactly.
he was just a little kid, but he could sing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But then now he doing his thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like
he out here doing it big.
yeah, it's crazy to see that, and it make me feel a little old, low key, because it'd be like he grown now. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
know him when he was a little.
Little kid. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So yeah.
Literally, Jacob used to come. I was teaching. He was at a school. Tish would bring him to my last hour class. He would sit in the back and do his homework, and then we would go to my house and record. He was 9 and 10 at the time. Focus as
Focus,
a
little
kid.
kid.
Yeah, so that's literally like I just think of so many of those stories and the people that we work with
Yeah.
as children, or kids, and then they became you know who they are now as adults. So once you got to a point where you knew you could do it on a professional level, who was you remember the first session you had as a producer with a real artist that had like a budget and things of that nature? You do remember who that was?
They all had little budgets. Everybody had little money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think I got into a real session until I worked with One Chance.
Okay.
Even though I felt like this artist, I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Russia. I did like 3 albums on him. That was the first artist that really let me just like go album after album. So he got me right, as far as on the beat level. And I met him through some beat battles and stuff like that. So when I got with that artist, he eventually I got my chops up. Then we went to One Chance, and that situation was crazy because I didn't have a manager, looking for a manager, and some dude had plugged me to this dude named Walt, and Walt had like a compound going on at his house. He had some artists and producers, writers, all that. So, and he was fly, and that right there like had like put me into the space like, okay, I want to be around this nigga, and my fault. I want to be around this guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And eventually, his group One Chance, which was signed to Usher at the time, they were looking for a single, and I was in debt, need to figure out how to make a record. So I collabed with Walt's producer, which was his sister.
LJ.
Yeah, LJ. We did like 5, 6 tracks, and one track ended up being a single for One Chance, and they put Fabo on it. Fabo was his,
Look at Her, was it called?
Yeah, called Look at Her.
Yeah.
That song ended up being a single. Shot the video.
Yep.
That was my first record out there on the radio, and then that got me a deal.
You remember what you got paid off that song?
Off Look at Her?
Yeah.
I think it was like 10,000.
Okay. First place from 10K, that's good, bro.
I think it was like 10,000 bucks.
Yeah, that's good. First, normally people get jerked. That's what I'm saying. That was a good thing, man.
I think 10,000. I think I had to split it though.
Oh, but it don't matter.
Yeah,
5
yeah,
apiece.
yeah.
That still ain't jerk. I'm talking about our people getting 500 for their first placement.
Yeah.
That's jerk, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 5K. That's nice.
5K when you pay your managers and
You
walk away with
3,500. Yeah, 3,800. Yeah.
Cooler placement, but the business that was a catch-22. It was either Usher came and seen that the record was going to be used as a single. He came at me or to my team was like, either he signed with me or I'm taking 20% of the song.
Right.
So I'm like, because it was his group.
Right.
So I'm like, it was one of those situations where I ain't know. I'm like, shoot, sign a deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
Let's go.
Let's sign.
It's Usher. Right.
So I signed 40K. 40K. Didn't know he was splitting it with another publishing company. So he gave me 20.
Yeah.
Another company gave him 20.
Yeah.
Gave me my 40, and I was signed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't no big bag and nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you obviously worked your way out of that deal, obviously, over time.
I worked in the deal and got a breach. He breached contract.
Got you.
So I was signed to Usher for like 2 years. And during that time, Rico Love was signed.
Yeah, for sure.
To him as well. But I didn't really, it takes time to develop a producer,
right.
a songwriter or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not going to get hits the first year or two. Maybe 3-4 years. They say it take a while. So a lot of these deals, people be mad, they be long, but during that time they developing you getting, you're going to get sharp. So the first 2 years, I ain't really making no money. I'm going to be honest. I ain't making no money. But I was using the studio, burning through studio time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was just, he gave me opportunity. He was coming out the pocket. So when it came to the point where we had to do my option was 50,000. And the option, I don't know if y'all know what an option is.
No, break it down. Act like we don't know nothing.
So a company can sign you, and if it's going good, they can offer you an extra incentive, an extra deal, or extra album, or extra term, whatever. But it's their first right refusal. You can't deny the option. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's on
them.
Yeah. It's in
so
their court. Right.
If you had a great year or a great, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna let you go. They're gonna keep the option. And they're gonna pay you for another term.
Right.
Now you can, after that term, you can do something different. You know what I'm saying? But they while you hot, they gonna keep you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my option was for 50K, and all he had to do was the time was, it was time for another check.
Yeah.
He had to just pay me $50K. That's all he had to do.
Peanuts.
And he is coming off of Confessions.
Yeah.
We did Love in This Club Part 2 with Beyonce, Lil Wayne. I didn't get no pub. He didn't get no pub off of it because it was a sample. So he really felt like he didn't really eat off of me in the first 2 years working. So.
Wait, stop though. You did Love in This Club remix for Usher and Beyonce. We can't just breeze over that. That's not like
it's gonna be a whole bunch of little breeze moments, man.
Yeah,
you know,
but we can't. But I'm not gonna let you. We gonna stop. We got when you do those. You see, that was like a small flex. It wasn't even a flex. So he was just having a conversation. You did Love in This Club remix, which I remember vividly.
Yes.
And I heard it. I'm like, this sound like a sound. I call like, bro, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Love in This Club remix with Usher and Beyonce. Okay, continue.
Yes, and that record did good, but it was. I didn't eat off of it. He ate off of it because it was his song.
Yes, he's the artist. Yeah.
When a remix, sometimes they'll give the publishing to the original song.
Yeah, of course.
So the remix, usually they'll just buy you out. Whoever producing or whatever, right? They'll just buy you out. So they bought me out for $40K, and I didn't get no pub on the song.
But you got credit though.
I got credit, but on Billboard and stuff, man, my name wasn't on it.
Right.
They went to the stage for it. I didn't go on the stage. Polo and them walked up.
Right.
On my song, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they did the beat.
Yeah, like everything, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just how it works. If you don't write on a song, you don't walk on the stage. So Carrie Hilson had fought for 1%, and she wrote the whole song
by herself.
Wrote the whole song by herself. Beyonce part. Well, Ryan Lovett.
Yeah, Ryan Love. Yep.
Did the hook and Usher part, but Carrie fought for 1%, and I regret that I didn't fight for one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 1% would at least had me on
credits,
on Billboard charts. It would have got me way more work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think people too, fight for something. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you got slight out of record, hey man, don't make it a hard situation. At least get 1% on the song. You know what I'm saying? So your name can be on the song. You can walk up on the stage, and then you can do your own hustle finesse. When you get off the stage, you know what I'm saying?
That's an important thing that everybody should be taking. Make sure you get your credit. The credit is worth more than the money because the credit leads to more money. So don't miss what he just dropped. All right? Do not miss what he just dropped. Somebody go open the door for us. Do not miss what he just dropped. All right? So make sure you get some credit and not no credit. All right? Please. Exactly. That's extremely important to get some credit and not no credit. All right, you have to do that. All right, continue, my brother. So
that affected a little bit of my catalog sales as well, but that's
that's later on. Yeah.
But just that little percent, little things like that will affect the future. Like if you don't get it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what were we
so now you signed with Usher. You go to your next option.
Okay.
But he didn't give you the money you said, right?
Right. So I didn't earn a lot of money for him.
Right.
During that period.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of connection. I made a lot of sessions, worked with a lot of artists, but records wasn't placing. It just was good demos. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he went on some European tour or something like that, and he had just married Tamika Foster. So he was in the press, a lot of negative press. He was like going through a lot. I took that to my advantage though, because I knew he wasn't gonna remember to sign the option. You know what I'm saying? So we reached out to his people, his lawyers, whatever. No response.
Yep.
He's overseas. We noticed he's overseas. I'm like, all right. My attorney, I'm like, yo, what should we do? Like, he ain't responding. I need this $50K. They like, shoot, if he don't respond in 30 days, this contract is over.
So you just waited.
So we just waited it out. We played the wait game. And the wait game was almost like a movie. Like we waiting when it comes to the last day. I'm like, this nigga ain't.
Yeah, it's all good.
This person ain't hit us back yet with this contract. We got one more day left. I'm like, when it came to day 0, contract was up, vanished in the air, and I was a free man. And I had that's when it really was popping. Like the bidding war.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Because people knew, even though, like I said, that one song that when you did Love in This Club, people still knew in the industry, they knew what you did, bro.
Yeah, in the industry, I was shaking. Like, they knew I was next. But they was like, he just got to get one. When he get one,
it's a wrap.
They knew I was next, but it was just more like building my relationships up. By the time I got out the deal, we didn't know what to do for the first year. We just was like, all right, let's just work and get some independent placements. Let's not sign to nobody. Let's just figure out how we can, get some music. And I end up getting like 3-4 placements on my own. Mm-hmm. And that's when like I got a bidding war. You know what I'm saying?
And what were those 3 placements?
I did like 3 on Sterling Sims.
Sterling, okay, I remember Sterling.
He was on Def Jam.
Yep.
And I think I did. Was it Brandy?
We did Brandy together. Was that?
That's why I don't think I did Brandy under Usher deal. I think Brandy probably was one of those records too.
Yeah, the acapella with Brandy.
Acapella Brandy.
We did that.
I think a couple of those. Yeah, I think I did because I didn't have no deal when I was just like.
You know what? You're right because when we did acapella, we did it at my crib. We didn't even do it at the studio. Me, you, TC, and Lachey, we did it at my house. Because my wife cooked dinner. Remember, we was there all day from like maybe the afternoon.
In Atlanta though, right?
It was in my house in Atlanta. Yeah. I had like a condo in Atlanta, and we did it there. I remember that. And you didn't have a deal at the time.
Didn't have a deal.
Yep.
And then a couple of those records went off. I made some money, of course. And then I decided to get different management, and I was with Walt at the time. Still was with him, but we decided to add Red Zone. Yeah.
Red Zone. So, Tricky and Dream.
Tricky Stewart and Mark Stewart.
Mark Stewart, yeah.
They managed me for like 2-3 years, but they also had like Dream, Esther Dean, Frank Ocean. They had a couple other people that they had was under the umbrella. I was right there just like soaking it in. You know what I'm saying? And that first year being with them, that's when we got the offers from like different companies to do a publishing deal.
Gotcha.
And we took the deal with Sony ATV.
ATV, yeah.
And I moved to LA, and that's when it kind of like
took off.
Another chapter just went, went crazy. And that's when I started working with the A-listers. When I got to LA, I started working with the A-listers, and then the history started happening.
And I agree with you because I had some. I think I had a couple placements prior to that. I think we did Brandy. I think we did maybe the Backstreet Boys or something. But I'll never forget. I told this story on a podcast I was on. I was working in the city of Milwaukee as a crisis stabilizer, and the governor at the time changed to a Republican governor by the name of Scott Walker. He ended which most Republican government officials, public politicians do. They end funding for things that help people of color, and there was this program called Wraparound at the time. He took funding out of it, which cost a lot of people their jobs that were actually helping black and brown young people. So that happened. He got elected. That program, the funding was taken to go to somewhere else, and it ended. And literally that Monday, none of us had jobs. You called me that afternoon. That happened Monday. You didn't even notice. That's the crazy part. That's why you're looking at me like this. You didn't even notice. You just called to check on me. He literally called me the same day that I lost my job. And he didn't even know. He was just calling to just see what's good. Man, we out here in L.A., man, seeing what's going on. You was on my mind. No, how we do still to this day. Right now, we're both established, we're doing financially well. To this day, I would FaceTime him with my son, or he'll FaceTime me with his, whatever. Literally the exact same thing 20 years ago. And he said, what you got going on? I was like, man, actually nothing. What's up, bro? He said, man, you should come out to L.A. and kick it with me. I'm out here working with Tricky and them, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'll be there tomorrow. He was like, what? He's like, and sounds no, when I say I'm coming, I'm on the way. So I said, I'll be there tomorrow, bro. He's like, all right, send me your flight information. Now, mind you, we just was on some like, what's up, what's happening. I booked my flight. The next day, I get there. Sounds like, bro, yesterday I got a call from L.A. Reid to come to this writing camp. So we finna just go. We literally went straight from the airport to a writing camp, which was a Rihanna writing camp. Now, mind you, I got fired the day before. So day one, you working with Ursula. You had 2 days with Ursula.
Yep.
Right? 2 days with her name's Urs Verse, but 2 days with Ursula. Y'all do like a record. The first day I remember, y'all do a record called Sundown. It was a real like Caribbean vibe joint. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
record. And I'm like, oh, this about to be her single. That's what. And I'm just a spectator. I'm
Every
not.
song I thought was gonna be her single.
Man, but this record was bananas, bro. So I'm like, oh, this out of here. And we literally just chilling. So then day 2 comes, and I think we went to like a Westlake. We went from one studio to another studio.
Yeah, we was in Westlake, went to Boom Boom Room.
Boom Boom, yeah.
And went back to Westlake.
So
it was like 5 days of working. You know what I'm saying?
So this day we went to Westlake. Yeah. And we was in the studio, and she was writing this record, which was Skin. But the vocal production of it wasn't coming out how you wanted it. So you basically told Earth, listen, my man C-Note, this is what he do. I did the Brandy record with him. This is what he get out. He worked with everybody. Like, basically ran her the resume so she didn't feel a type of way for me to vocal produce the record. So he's like, as the producer, I think you should just get in the booth and let him vocal produce you. And then what y'all hear on the record, Skin record today, is what I vocal produced her. And she sounded so much like Rihanna, they kept a lot of those backgrounds that we did. So literally Rihanna singing the leads and the main notes, but they literally kept a lot of the stuff we did in the studio.
Yeah, in that camp, I mean, it was
heavy hitters, bro.
I mean, they said they had 1 week, 120 songs to pick from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That they had got in that 1 week.
Yeah.
And I had like 5, 6 songs. But honestly, I knew Skin, out of all of them, I said, yo, ain't nobody beating that. I'm like, I don't care who on it.
Man, that was crazy.
Ain't nobody beating that song.
And the crazy part was you called in a live guitar. That's a live guitar player. I remember your boy come in and playing it that night. Because it was like 4 o'clock in the morning when we left for something crazy. Like the sun was almost coming up.
Yeah.
But like we had everything done vocally, and you were still doing post production. You even called in your mans to come in to play the guitar, live guitar on the joint. I remember. And
they replaced it though. They replaced it with like Rihanna, Tour Dude
played it.
Yeah.
And the crazy part was the way we did the song was so unorthodox.
Yeah.
Because normally songs goes maybe hook, verse, hook, bridge, hook out or something like that, or it would go verse, hook. You know what I'm saying? The other way around.
Yeah.
The hook of the song don't come to the end. People didn't even notice that because the song was so dope that the hook didn't come to the end. So the hook was more like a vamp, as they call it in church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that writing camp, you don't know, but that came because I worked on Sterling Sims on Def Jam, and the A&R that did that project name was Karen Kwok.
I don't care. Yeah.
So Karen Kwok is kind of like a big person at the label, but I moved to LA, and at that time she had already had a relationship with me because she paid me, cut my check, whatever. So they had a camp going on. I hit her like in the email, like, "Yo, y'all, how y'all forget me?" Like,
right, out of everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm one of them ones. Like,
yeah,
why I ain't at the camp? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we forgot you. We'll get you a room." So it started from my relationship
with Karen,
from the Sterling Sims record I did. You know what I'm saying? So every record is just another stepping block for the next. You know what I'm saying? It's a chess move. You know what I'm saying? Type of industry. So I made sure I knew if I had that relationship, I can't fail this one. Like, so the pressure on me, I had to get you out there because the pressure on me to actually succeed was like, I made the beat in my closet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm making beats in my closet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point where I'm in LA and I'm still not in a big studio. So to get in that big studio, I'm like, I gotta stay in there. You know what I'm saying? So that beat just came out of nowhere. And then, you know, she wrote a perfect song on it.
Perfect.
And I knew it was gonna go.
Yep.
And that started a whole bunch of other records though. That Rihanna record just opened the door. And people would like really take me serious.
And what people don't understand is when you write a great record, as a writer, it's so easy to vocal produce it. That's what you do. Like, I do that. So we was flying through the song once I heard because all of the melodies was giving me something. Every single melody of the whole record was giving me something.
Yeah, it was AI before AI. Like,
facts.
She sounded just like Rihanna.
Yeah,
Rihanna didn't change nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? She sung it exactly the way we did it, and that was a beautiful thing. You know. I think. Oh, we got nominated for that too.
That was our first Grammy nomination. All of us. Yep.
Yeah.
Our first Grammy nomination was that song on that album, the Loud album. As you're flossing one of your many.
Got nominated for a Grammy 2 years ago, or a year ago.
Yeah, you got so many you forget. You can't keep up, huh? I'm
like 7, 8 in right now.
That's what's up. Man.
Yeah.
So now let's go. Yeah, show that some love for that for sure. So So now we moving forward after the Rihanna stuff that's building. Because I looked at your discography, right? I went and looked, and this is my boy. So when you work with these your boys, like him or I look at Rico, they discography you don't really understand because they're literally your friends. So you talk to them like your homies, you know what I'm saying? I went and looked at his discography, right? With certain writers and producers, you gotta ask them who they haven't worked with as opposed to who they have worked with because they've worked with so many people. Like I found out the other day, yesterday, that you had like 11 on Chris Brown, one of Chris Brown's albums. That's like. First of all, do y'all understand how hard it is to get on Chris Brown album? To have 11, that's crazy to me. So look, like if you go look at discographies, I didn't know this record that you did, but I was in the club and it was going crazy. It was Ray Shrimmer, Throw Some More.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did the song because it didn't have a tag. Like
Yeah.
normally it had your tag, so I could. Oh, Sounds did that.
Mike Will took it off.
Yeah, I believe it because that record was crazy.
Yeah,
He couldn't get a shine somewhere else, huh? Is that what it was?
we made up over it, but just to be in retrospect, yeah, I had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was that moment for me
to take you to
put my tag on a song because I felt like every producer put their tag on a beat.
Yeah.
And to take my tag off and then he put ear drummers on it, it just was like.
He did the beat.
It was one of them shocking moments like, oh, this nigga, this guy tried me, you know? Like, that was one of those moments like I was tried in the music sense and it was nothing like a really Debo or like.
Because he was executive producer and everything. Yeah,
and it's going to ruin my opportunity for the single. And
yeah. And that was a big record for them, bro.
And it was kind of weird because Jason Joshua mixed the record. And me and him have a relationship for other records I done mixed. He mixed the Rihanna record.
He mixed Rihanna, yeah, right.
So me and him had big hits together as well. But he didn't even tell me that they took my tag off.
And that's your boy. I know
Yeah. So I had to come at him like, yo, you could have just warned me like, yo,
Yeah.
they're taking your tag off, bro. What you want me to do?
Right.
He didn't hit me with none of that. He just took my tag off. They replaced it. And the song was a success. You know what I'm saying?
You did the beat, correct?
I did the whole beat.
You did the whole beat. I know you did it, but I'm just saying it just
he
so
didn't
we know.
touch the beat.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing. He didn't put a snap.
Put a ding.
Nothing.
He didn't put a,
nothing. You did the
he didn't
whole
do
everything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't do a thing on the beat. But I give him his credit where credit due. He got Nicki and Thug on the beat.
Yeah, that's cool.
On the song.
Yeah.
So
he did that. But that's what the executive producer is supposed to do. That's not no disrespect to that brother because I've worked in the past. I'm saying he did. That's what any executive producer. That's what P does when we got Lotto on the Kia record. P made that phone call. He did what the executive producer is supposed to do.
Just imagine if P did that and then he wanted co-production credit too.
Right, but you the executive producer, so it don't even matter.
So Mike got co-production on the song,
and then press
you know
one
what I'm
key.
saying? Yeah. So. Much love to everybody, though.
No,
you know
for sure. No, we're not saying it in the back.
It's a song in history.
It's a history maker record. You got your publishing, so
I definitely fought for majority of the publishing.
For sure.
You know, I ain't got to get into super details, but they definitely wanted more than what I was gonna give.
Of course.
And I made sure I stood 10 toes on that. So I got majority stake of it. But again, another note: majority stake ain't always. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes sharing is caring. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro.
And I probably would have got more records if I would have just been like just grateful and just happy and just say, I'm part of something dope.
Right.
Thank you for letting me be on this project.
Right.
At that point, I was already kind of like in my bag as sounds. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, yo, man, y'all not about to do me like that.
Yeah. For sure.
So I made it a little difficult. It's some things I regret about that, but. You got to stand your ground sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to choose your battles, you know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
I definitely was like, nah.
But sometimes people not doing business correctly and they count the money before it come, is you got to stand for yourself, bro. So I don't, hey, because a lot of times you'll give in and they still don't give you more opportunity. So I don't see nothing wrong with standing your ground when we did everything on the song, the production. So it's not like nothing was changed. They moved this part of that. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
Luckily, I got more songs after that. If that didn't happen, then it probably would have been,
Yeah, you'd been.
I stood my ground on, so I felt good about it. It was a good decision,
Yeah. So after that, I know. I think Bieber was coming after that next, right?
Throw some more. When Those Some More popped off, what happened? I had my own studio at that time. I had like things was going good. I had like a 2-room studio. I think I was working with Bieber. Definitely was working with Bieber. But I was working with Bieber starting with Tricky. When I was with Tricky, Tricky did Baby for Bieber. So Tricky was like like that to Justin. You know what I'm saying? So for me to be over there and hanging with Justin and being the youngest dude in the room, Justin automatically just gravitated to me.
You,
Yeah, so that's how we ended up working on his first. We worked on his second album, and then from there, when I had the studio, when Those Some More came happen, like now I'm looking at Justin like, yo, I got other hits with other artists too, like I got the Rihannas, I got this,
rock with me,
you know what I'm saying? Like you want to rock with me now, so that's what made him like start working with me, because I was already like moving around, getting it.
He was working heavy with you because I remember I called you like, man, what's going on? He's like, oh man, just chilling. I said, where you at, bro? I'm gonna come out to LA. He's like, man, I'm in Toronto. I'm like, Toronto? It's freezing for what? He's like, man, I'm working with Justin. Then I look on the vlogs, y'all walking out the hotel.
Kidnapped me. He kidnapped me for like 2 months out there.
Yeah.
And we was just working, man. It was a beautiful time, man. It was like I had fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, off
of him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we going out the hotel and it's me by myself and there's people taking pictures. It's me by myself. I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Just to be, you know, a part of somebody that has a big celebrity paparazzi vibe going on. So, but we got the work done. That was my main focus. Like, I was the oldest out of the bunch, youngest in the Tricky room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I got around them, I was like
OG. Yeah.
maybe second to oldest.
Because
me and Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear older than me, but
yeah.
I felt like I was one of the guys that's like, I ain't with all the wild. Like, I'm trying to feed my family off this. Like,
Right.
this is a big opportunity.
It's a legacy play. Right.
Yeah, so I wasn't really coming in it at like, I'm fan struck. I ain't never been fan struck with nobody like I work with. Like, I always looked at it as business and something that's like, this could feed my family. Let me do it right. You know what I'm saying? So, I think when it came to the Bieber stuff, when they was all the rumors about the drugs and the partying, and it was around, but I was at the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one writing the records, making the beats, sitting when everybody going to the club. I was sitting back, chilling.
Working.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have my little weed. I'm chilling, working. You know what I mean? But I feel like those moments right there built up the buzz again. It was little moments that built up the buzz.
Right.
I was like 20,000 followers before
and
that.
it went to like 2.
It
was crazy.
Went way up after that. You know what I'm saying?
It went crazy.
So a lot of things just working in relationships and just, you know, I've definitely invested as well into my own. Like, to get placements, I have flown myself places, paid for people, for gifts, go to games, buy purses. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah,
like,
it's part of the game to get in the better position. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, because I remember you had. I came out to LA. Matter of fact, when we were working, we were working with Tricky and them. I came out. You had season tickets to the Clippers or something like that. We went to take breaks and go to the game, then go back to the studio.
I bought the season tickets because, one, the way that my checks was coming in, it was just like random, sporadic. But the Rihanna had already happened, so I'm like, all right, bet.
Right.
It's $20,000 to get these tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get season tickets. So I'm like, all right, let's get it.
Right.
I got the tickets, but I'm like, all right, I'm about to get the tickets just to go. I'm gonna get the tickets. I'm gonna use every game as a meeting.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna be taking every person I know in the game
to the game.
To the game. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta pick you up. So when I gotta pick you up, now you gotta listen to my music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta listen to my music the whole ride, and you gotta hear me talk. So by the time we get back to the crib, you done heard some new songs from me.
Right.
We closer. When there's a project coming up, you gonna hit me. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense,
and
man.
I ended up being up on all the lists because, you know, you just play the relationship game. You know.
That makes sense. That is a part of marketing, ladies and gentlemen. He spent that $20K to make way more money. If you know what I'm saying? If y'all can y'all put y'all phones on silent for me, please? 'Cause it's getting picked up in the recording. Thank y'all. That's an extremely important marketing tool. Like, literally, people thinking, why would I spend $20K? But that $20K, one placement, that $20K is taken care of right away, easily. Like, it's 10%. You know, I'm sure you took somebody, got a placement, and you probably made 200K off that one placement, you know, over the time of the record. You know what I mean? So you got to understand the game of marketing and how to market. So I thought that was genius. You
And
know?
I learned that from the OGs though.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
don't got no OG telling you things, and mentors it's kind of hard. But
Yeah.
I seen OGs, they take people to meetings all the time, and
Yep.
they doing lunches, and they doing nice places, nice lunches, and they buttering up. You know, it's like you're massaging the relationship. You
Yes.
know, and when I learned that from them, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna start taking people out to lunches, do dinners, and
Yeah.
games, different. Just be creative. You know what I'm saying? So they can remember me. I mean, this is work. You know what I mean? I haven't done it since like I
Yeah.
stopped working in the ministry, but I'm about to get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I thought it was genius, bro. The fact that you took me to the Clippers game, I'm like, man, we got some, how you get these good? Who gave you these good
yeah,
seats?
I mean, y'all got people out here like, man, take them to a Bucks game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, get them tickets, do something different. You know, give them another experience where they feel like, okay, this person taking me serious. You know, like, you know, I want to talk about whatever you got going on. And I did that with DJs. I did that with so many different people that I didn't know. Got good with the DJ just because I'm inviting them to something.
Right.
And he ended up playing my record. And
Yep.
then it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Throw Some Mo was because I got cool with a DJ taking him to a game. And I realized that my records wasn't playing in the club.
Right.
I didn't have nothing playing in the club. And I'm like, what can I get this man to play in the club of mine? And I'm giving all these artists slow R&B
Right.
songs. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm like, I gotta have a rap song. Like my rap bag gotta be crazy. So Throw Some Mo was just because I wasn't getting played in the club. I
You
just
came up
wanted,
with that joint.
yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. Who wrote it? Who wrote the record?
Jeremiah.
That's
Jeremiah wrote the hook.
Yep.
And then he was in a session with Mike Will.
Right.
He played Mike Will the record. Mike Will was like, I got a group. We should put this on my group.
It's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's how I got on there. So again, shout out to Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
He did his thing.
Yeah,
You know,
it worked out, man.
It
At the end
worked
of the day.
out.
That's it. Now, we moving forward, right? You did the Justin thing. That was huge. What comes after Justin? Was Chris before or after Justin?
Justin, what comes out of Justin is Trey Songz. Well, Trey Songz.
Oh, I forgot about that record.
Trey Songz was, I worked with him prior to that, but it wasn't nothing big. It was a bonus track.
Yeah.
But we did Foreign.
Foreign, I remember that. That song
for,
was big for him.
Yeah, me and my little brother did Foreign. He did the beat with his homie, and I wrote the song.
Got you.
That's what people don't know, too. I did a lot of the songwriting, too, on the low. People be thinking it's just the beats, but it's like I was doing a lot of the songwriting, too. So I wrote the song. I flew to Miami. I invested my own money to get that record done. You know what I'm saying? Because Trey is like everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And he was in New York celebrating some stuff. And he was like, yo, I hit him up. Because we had a relationship from a record I did, I had his number. And I just text him. I don't like texting people because people don't text me back.
Right.
And it just be making me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So I text him though. I'm like, yo, what's good? Where you at? He said, I'm in New York. And he was like, about to go to Miami for my birthday. I was like, oh. I said, oh, that ain't nothing but a flight. Like on some joking. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he said, come on in. Like that.
Oh, that was it.
All right. So I went that night, went on the air, you know what I'm saying? Looked for some flights. Booked my flight. Went out to Miami. Did like 4 or 5 records. Just demos. He was just playing them. Ended up like nothing happened in that trip. But he hit me up like a month later and was like, yo, man, your song, this song ended up playing on accident in a party out of his laptop. He was just playing songs.
And it was your demo of Foreign.
It was the demo of Foreign.
And they went crazy.
And the girls, everybody was dancing in the house to Foreign. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I'm cutting it. As soon as I get in town, I'm cutting it. Get the session ready. Boom, boom, boom. So again, another play I had to make and invest just so he could have the songs and feel my presence and, you know what I'm saying, and just be like, boom. And it's kind of bossy, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, is that my phone?
It's your phone. I told everybody to put their phones aside it, and the person I'm interviewing, the phone was going off.
Silent though. The alarm's crazy. So when we got records that hasn't been released, of course, but the Foreign song that investment made my brother a bag.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he did the beat. Him and his boy did the beat.
Yeah, they did a publishing. They did a $250,000 publishing deal off one song.
One song.
The song that I invested my money to go to just to get a placement.
Yeah.
They did $250 off of one song. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, it's crazy.
So again, I'm just setting little plays, little traps for chess moves. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the chess game when it comes to music. It's not about that song. It's about what's the next play, what this song gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
To take me to the next level. That makes sense. Now, let's switch gears, man. So in that, right, I'm sitting on my phone, as all of us do, scrolling. And I'm looking at people doing like this. Wipe me down, wipe. Y'all remember that challenge? Wipe me. Who remember that? Y'all remember that? Wipe. Everybody remember because everybody from Ellen to Will Smith to whoever you can think of did it. I don't care. Everybody was in the mirror doing it. I didn't do it because I don't look that good. But I seen everybody else doing it, right? So I'm like, man, what is this? Now, you know how you hear something and it sound familiar to you? It sounded extremely familiar to me, but I don't know why. But there was no tag. And a lot of times when those challenges go viral like that, you never know what, because it at this time, it probably was, by the time I realized what it was over 400, 500 million at this time. Come to find out, I did not know it was him who created this. How I found out, we were just doing our monthly check-ins. And I'm like, man, what you got going on? He like, what? Sounds like, what? Well, BMW Kenny.
My name used to be Sounds.
It used to be Sounds. That's why I keep calling him that.
You know, I have a couple aliases. You know, if you grandfather clause, then people still call me Sounds. I might turn, you know what I mean? But I really stopped going by that by like maybe 5 years ago.
Right. But I'm so used to, he was Sounds for 15 years to me. So that's why I still call him. You know what I'm saying? So me and him chopping it up, he like, bro, you know, wipe me. Have you heard of Wipe Me Down? I was like, yeah, man, I just seen Will Smith doing it. And Ellen.
Wipe it down.
Wipe it down. I'm sorry. Wipe
me down is the Boosie.
Yeah,
wipe it down is me.
Wipe it down. Right?
Yeah.
So he like, you know that's me, right? I'm like, bro, I knew that voice. I just couldn't figure out where I knew it from. Talk to us about that, bro. That was one of the biggest, when it comes to viral, it's over 1 billion.
It's 2 billion streams.
See what I'm saying? 2 billion streams.
And counting, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And that's like sometimes bigger than a lot of the artists I work with.
Easily.
You know what I'm saying? Just on one song. So what it was just a whole bunch of industry experience turned into a whole bunch of like ideas, especially when COVID happened. When COVID happened, the whole world had shut down. And I found myself at the crib. Couldn't go nowhere. Mm-hmm. I was sitting on a little money, though. I was sitting on a little bit. So I'm like, I'm about to like try to sell my catalog and just quit. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I felt like the industry was dead. I wasn't getting calls like that. I don't know. I mean, my mentor told me that it's ups and downs. Like,
absolutely.
You want to have a studio period because you're going to be hot, you're going to be cold. No matter what, just have your own studio because when you cold, they ain't going to be hitting you up. You still need to be recording. You still need to be creating. So I was cold. Mm-hmm. I luckily had a studio, though, because he told me I always had a studio. But I was cold that year. Like, I get at least like 6 placements a year. I ain't getting none. Something was up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Some energy has shifted. Mm-hmm. And then COVID happened. So no placements the whole 2019. Then COVID happened. Then everything is dead. No one called my phone. We can't get no studio. I'm at the crib now. I'm working on my stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I had changed my name at that point to like iRap. Mm-hmm. So I was working on like, I was trying to change my identity. Like I was trying to escape the sounds for a second.
Because even when the Wipe It Down challenge came, there was no visual of you.
No.
So it was like her. Like her, Gabby was her. We just didn't know it because you never saw who her was. So that's literally what it was.
And I changed my name 2 weeks before I put the record out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it as a social experiment. I wanted to see because I was submitting my music as sounds to labels and they was sleeping. They wouldn't. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't listen to it.
And make sure y'all listen to this. Make sure y'all. This is important. What he getting ready to tell you. This is a gem. Go ahead.
Because I always was making music. I always felt like I was an artist. But when I started submitting my music, they'd be like, they turn their shoulder. They try to pigeonhole you. pigeonhole you. They put you in one box. And, you know, a lot of labels turn me down.
Yep.
Wouldn't even give me meetings. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, they'll turn around and ask for a beat or ask for a song
For the artists.
the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care about what I was doing. So, I'm like, bet. I'm going to change my name. It's going to be a social experiment. I'm going to see if I can make a record that's TikTok friendly. You know what I'm saying? I seen TikTok was going crazy at the time. And people were at the house. They were stuck in the crib.
Had nothing to do but be on their phone.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm. It wasn't like, it's hard to recreate it too because I'm trying to recreate it, but it's hard to recreate it. Perfect storm though. But I end up making this record, Wipe It Down, in my underwear at the crib, just chilling. Like, that's how I make my record sometimes. wake up 3, 4 in the morning, just hop on a laptop. Hop on a computer. Go crazy for 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I made the record, made the beat, then recorded it, mixed it, mastered it by myself. You know what I'm saying?
100% for sure.
Man, I was like, all right, before I put this record out, what relationships I got? You know what I'm saying? That I can really make this record go crazy. And I knew at the time I was working with Leanne V. Leanne V is a big social media influencer. She kind of calmed down a little bit now. She had a baby.
Got family, married,
But when she was booming, she had like at least 10 million people outreach, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And at the time, I remember before that, you were working on her music career with her. So that's the part that I don't want people to miss. Because I had a conversation with Leanne V maybe 3 or 4 years before you worked with her about managing her. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't understand the power of social media. I knew she had a big following. At the time, I didn't understand the power because it used to be her and her dad on social media doing a lot of
Vine days.
Stuff. Yes, I remember.
So I signed her to a production deal. So we did a production deal for a year, but it didn't produce a deal.
And but y'all was on good terms.
Yeah, we left on good terms. So I was like, yo, I got this song. Can you do a transition video or a dance to it? Something, because you're really good at that social media. That's what you do. And she was like, send it to me. Let me see what it is. You know what I'm saying? I sent her 2 songs. The Wipe It Down record, she was like, this one is hot. This one is hot. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm about to drop this record. So I dropped it. And she was like, I was like, don't do no video till I drop the song. And so I said, don't say sounds. You know what I'm saying? It's a new name. She's like, okay, I won't do it. It's BMW Kenny. That's my name now. Like, she's like, all right, cool. That's what you want to do. That's what it is. So I put the record out, and we did a challenge. She sent me a video of her wiping the mirror down
she was
into different outfits. And I was like, oh, yeah, this going to be viral. Like, I thought automatically, like, this going to be something that people going to want to do. But are they going to be able to do it as good as her? That's what was my biggest fear.
Because her quality of filming or what her social media was unbelievable. Bro.
Yeah, she was a little bit advanced with the transitions. Stuff was looking unbelievable, but honestly, people surpassed her. Like, they went above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think that it would catch on like that, but it caught on, man. And it was a record that I didn't have to pay her to do, because usually with an influencer,
you got to pay.
You got to pay them. You can do it. You can get a record that's hot and just reach out to an influencer and be like, yo, can you make some content or a video? They might say, I need 3,000, or they might say, I need. They get ridiculous nowadays. They making real money. So but
because of their relationship, it cost you $0.
Yeah, the relationship game again cost me $0. That would have been a $5,000 favor. You know what I'm saying? Because her reach was that crazy. But when she did the video, I didn't use that money that I could have paid her. I put $1,000 into giving giving a winner $1,000
for the challenge.
For the challenge, I said so. I was like, Leanne, let's make a challenge out of this. I'll front the money. You make it look like it's your challenge. You know what I'm saying? I'll give the people $1,000, the best challenge, whatever. So a week go by, we pay out the winner. And I was panicking because I'm like, man, we should have did 2 weeks.
Yeah, you should have made it longer, right?
Yeah, we should have made it longer. She was like, no, do it a week. That's all you need, a week. Trust me. I'm like, all right. I'm like, this is it's not enough time to circulate. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of that week, we had like 400 videos. And I was kind of like, 400 is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, But I'm like, I spent $1,000 on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I looked. It was like 1,100 videos. And the next day, 3,000 videos. And the next day, 10. And it was going crazy. I'm like, it was like the wildest viral thing I've seen. Like far as
Yeah.
in front of me, even with all the artists I work with, a record got to get worked.
Yeah.
It got to really get worked before it go viral or be a world sensation. Within a month, it was already like 100,000 views. 100,000 videos made.
Yeah. Videos, man. Yeah.
Like not just like they was making the videos to the challenge. So I'm like, that equated to Spotify, equated to Apple Music,
All the
all the
DSPs.
numbers to start
Yeah.
raising up, and that's when the labels start hitting in the phone.
They're hitting sounds, but they're hitting BMW Kenny, but they really hitting sounds. They don't even know it.
The same people that was turning me down, that wouldn't listen to me, was the same people trying to sign me.
Sign BMW Kenny because they didn't know who BMW Kenny was.
Know what I'm saying?
So long story short, he literally had leverage. He created leverage as BMW Kenny that he really had when he was Sounds. But because
Same person.
labels are so lazy, everybody want to sign to a label. I can't say all, because QC put in that work. I'd work with them personally. But majority of the labels out here are so lazy, they want all the work done for them. So literally.
And I'm talking about, no exaggeration, at least 30, 35 labels, man.
And because I was talking to him at this time. Talk to about the actual bids you were getting, people were giving you 0 bids. What were the bids as far as like advances and the deals looking like? What were the deals?
Don't get me wrong now. It wasn't no magic. I was looking for Magical Kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I was looking for $1 million deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I got a hottest record right now out. What y'all got? I'm talking about one company, 25, 50, 75.
But you got to remember, it went to
125.
0. It was started from 0 now to
Yeah.
this. So that's not slouch money, bro.
That's not slouch money now.
But you looking for 10 million, 5 million.
I'm looking for, because I'm thinking like, yo, I can make this over and over again. Y'all need to pay me what I weigh. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't just a one-hit thing. Like,
and they're not understanding you're the producer, you're the writer, you're the art, you everything. You the mixer, you did everything. So
and I felt like, yo, I can work for y'all company too. Like, I can make records for y'all. So this is more of a like, y'all just gonna buy into me. You know, y'all want to buy into me. Again, a lot of regrets. You know what I'm saying? As far as like ego. You know what I'm saying? Me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was. It just was like, that's not enough. That ain't enough. Damn. What about the company that believes in you, likes you, wants to build with you, want to grow with you? You know what I'm saying? Buy into that.
Yes.
Sign with that company that said, yo, you got a record? What else you got? You know what up? We don't matter. Let's do the deal right now. Yes. I had a couple of those situations, and I was like, there ain't enough money. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, and cool. So, you know, I do regret a little bit of the old school mentality of like
the biggest check.
Yeah, just the being woke, you know, the new woke, the culture of being woke and just not signing no deals, and everybody's out to get you and everybody's out to screw you. You know, I honestly think it's blurred lines with that, because every label is going to fight for what's their best interest. You know what I'm saying? It's up for the attorney to, on your end, to kind of like make sure you get as much as you can. Yeah.
You get what you negotiate, not what you deserve.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
get what you negotiate. Yeah. It's not about what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I could have negotiated in those situations. I probably could have negotiated something that was good for the future. Yeah. Something that gave me a little option to just mess up and make some mistakes in the label and actually have a company behind me. Right. But I was more like, man, if Columbia hit me, I'm going to Columbia. And any label I was calling out, just imaginary to like, just to say I want to sign with them, they hit me in the email. The email was them in the email. I'm like, I actually got them in the email. What happened was, what messed it up was, during COVID, we couldn't have real actual meetings. Yes. So, and we couldn't perform. I couldn't tour, couldn't do nothing.
You couldn't run around and grab you a bag off that one song.
I couldn't go out and grab a bag. Yeah.
Literally made millions, just running around.
I could have went to every school in the goddamn country and performed a record, and went overseas and went crazy, but the traveling was so crazy on that. Couldn't travel. So when it came to the meetings, Zoom, we had to do Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
So they don't know what I look like yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm trying to hide myself because
You don't want to know it's you.
they know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was wearing masks for a while. Like, I was doing the dumbest, craziest stuff just to like
Hide your
to hide my identity of sounds. You know what I'm saying? When it might have, could have helped me, maybe if I wouldn't have.
Because they'd realize like, oh wait, he ain't just an artist. He could do the whole song for everybody. Yeah.
But that point, I was so turned off from the labels turning me down as sounds. I wanted to be a new identity. So Columbia came. When Columbia came, we was about to sign to Columbia, and that was what I wanted to sign with. I'm like, I'm signing to Columbia. I don't care who it is. They ain't got a lot of rap people over there. I'm gonna be kind of by myself. It's only Tyga over there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be good. Man, the A&R in love with me. He talking about we gonna do a deal we never done before with you. Like, this is gonna be the first of a deal we've ever done with like this. Cause we can't see you, we can't meet you, but we're gonna cut the check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool. So we about to have a meeting. We finally had the face Zoom meeting, and the dude, it was like, sounds? I was like, he recognized me, and I promise you, 2-3 days later, he called me up, kept it real G. I ain't never had no one kept it that 100 with me. Like, called me up and said, we're not gonna sign you. And he was like, because you're pretty much a couple years younger than me. And
because he was older.
yeah, and pretty much, he just kept it G, and I'm like, what the does that got to do with anything?
Right.
The fact that I got records and the fact that I can keep making hits.
Yeah.
It's just the whole stigma of, like, we know what you do. We know you're behind the scenes guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not ready for this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just turn the deal down. Like, a week ago was on my top.
Yeah.
I'm on my manager's top. Like, yo, we need him. We need him. When they found out who it was.
So if you could have just did the deal prior to that, you was good to go.
Maybe if I would have just came out and said, yo, this record was Sounds, Wipe It Down.
Yeah.
Then, Sounds, Wipe It Down probably would have been, who knows? It probably would have same thing. It might have been bigger. You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
For sure. For sure.
But I didn't have the support from none of my clients that I work with. So the record didn't do the distance that I thought it should have. It should have went Billboard. But it did do a lot. It was like top 20 global on Spotify.
Yeah.
Top 3 song of that year on TikTok.
That's dope, bro. Man, at the end of the day, you did something a lot of people wish they could do, bro.
Yeah.
You get that moment, that's a huge moment. And I think it says a lot when people talk about reinvention, because that's what the entertainment, because music industry is a part of that, is about. It's about reinventing yourself. And as many times as you can do that, it continues to give you that longevity. Now, mind you, you have to have talent to reinvent yourself. Like, so you have to find what your other passions are in that space. Like, for example, I'm reinventing myself by doing these. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find what your passion is and then continue to reinvent yourself, because that's extremely important. And it has to be in alignment with what your gift is. A lot of times people want to be an artist, but they're not really good at being an artist. They're just a better songwriter or producer, but then they're trying to be an artist too, or they're trying to be a songwriter and producer, and they're really an artist on the flip side. Or you're trying to be an artist when you really should be a manager. Like, it's a whole lot of different opportunities to make. Let me tell you something. You make just as much money behind the scenes as you do in front of the camera. Trust me. And most people want the notoriety, but if you're the person behind the artist, because I've been behind an artist or two that have done $1 million deals, and I'm doing all right. Sounds seem my.
I see what you're doing.
So I'm doing like, and I'm never on the thing. I'm doing all right. So don't.
No, that's the truth though. I do feel like that. I guess the want of the crowd singing your song, that was something I did want. I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely.
I did, like, I got caught up in that. I'm like, yo, the crowd singing my song. Like, I don't gotta write for nobody else no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can sing my songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I went through a whole 3-year of just focusing on that and not even focusing on nobody else. I quit the game because I felt like this is the way out. This is my way out. And I gotta like work for other artists and not get the credit. You know, I'm finally getting the credit for something I did. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And it's
right.
actually I'm the performer. You know what I
Right.
mean? But to what you said, like sometimes some artists don't. Some people can do it all. I ain't gonna lie. Some people do it all.
Yeah, you have to
It's
be
a few.
one. Yeah, it's a few. that
It's
can
only
do
a few though.
Yeah,
It's
very
only a few. But some
Fact.
people don't know their roles.
Right.
They get them mixed up. They think they could do this and think they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I, as a person that's been behind the scenes, and the person that's been in front of the camera, I do feel like behind the scenes, people behind the scenes, they making money.
Yes, they are.
The people on the camera that's
Yes,
the most
we
stressed.
are. Yes,
The people
we
on
are.
the front of the camera are the most stressed. They got to deal with the most, drama. The people behind the scenes, we can sit back and create and be creative and just get our ideas out there.
Yep.
You know,
I agree, bro.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, I just think it's amazing, man, that you Milwaukee native, bro, and you've done worldwide things, bro. And what he doesn't understand is the things that he's done has helped other people. Off of the song we did with Rihanna, I went to Greece to work. They flew me to Greece for a week. I wasn't even the main producer, so I just put the harmonies in. I did things like that. It allowed me I'm one of 4 people a part of that song, and it took me across the world. That was like a stepping stone. And then when that song came out, when we did the Brandy record, it shook the industry. Like all of the writers and producers, the insiders of the industry, they were like, man, y'all gotta hear this new Brandy record, blah, 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 blah. They thought Rodney Jerkins did it, but it was not. He didn't do nothing on that song.
That's Tion like biggest song, ain't it?
No, he did Justin. TC did. He did Justin too. That Justin was crazy.
Shout out to TC.
Yeah,
man.
TC did Justin.
Yeah,
Justin Bieber too.
I had some people's songs, man. I've had some of their biggest songs.
records. Yeah.
I've been proud of that.
Yeah.
And I like. Well, I haven't done it in a while, but I'm about to get back to it. But
Yeah.
I like the fact that I could bring somebody new in. You know what I'm saying? And that got some talent that just don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And we break bread. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been on lately.
And that's key, bro. And everything we are up here talking about, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching us, or the couple hundred people that's watching us, everything is about relationships. Imagine way back in the day when I got his track, and the artist tried to use his track and didn't pay for it. But I would not allow them to get their material until they paid this man, which was nothing but a couple of $100s.
I saw that's very honorable.
The couple. But listen to this: as being a man of integrity, I wouldn't let it until they paid this brother, which I did not know him at the time, but it was the principle. That couple of $100s made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Literally, because of a couple $100 somebody owed this brother turned into.
You taking me to dinner tonight?
Hey man, it ain't nothing to it. I flew you here. I might well go and get you something to eat. You know what I'm saying?
No, all that.
But literally, think about the power of integrity and relationship. We up here 20-something years later, just the best of friends off of something that happened when somebody was trying to do something wrong to him. That it had nothing to do with me, but I wanted to rectify that. So always be a man or woman of integrity, man, because you never know where it can take you later on down in your life and in your business life. Because one thing they can never say about me is I done bad business. If somebody ever said that to you, FaceTime me instantly.
Me too.
'Cause
I'm big on that. Like,
man,
I don't ever want that on my resume.
Yep.
As like he stole money from me, or
Yep.
he tried to snake me on this song, or he
Yep.
took me off the song, or I don't want none of that ever coming into on my name. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? When they say Sounds or they say Kenny, work with him, he talented. You know what I'm saying? He cold. Like, that's all I want associated with my name. Like, no bad business. You'll never find a story where I kick somebody out the studio. Nothing like that.
Yeah,
like,
same, bro. I've had more issues with people I've tried to help than people that don't even know me. Literally, people who had no money coming in, that had no place, nothing for real, that I tried to help. I had more issues with those type of people than people that, you know what I mean, that has stuff going on. Like people who were nominated Grammys before we were all that. I had way more great times with those than people I'm trying to put food on your plate, money in your pocket. Like, so literally, and guess what? It did not stop me from giving. Because anybody pay any money to get in here today? Anybody? I'm doing it for free just to help people. Still to this day, it didn't stop me. all it did was continue to elevate what I do, literally. So that's how I look at things, man. Everything is about relationship. You know what I mean? It's about making sure that you're consistent in your business. And everything Kenny has been talked about was about the consistency in his business. If anybody got any questions for him, there's a mic right there. Y'all go ahead and hop on that mic and let's get your questions. Hop on that mic over there, young man, and tell us, and run your question. What's your name, boss?
My name is Adam.
Adam,
What's
how you
good,
doing,
man?
bro?
I'm doing good.
What's your question, boss?
How do you promote your music? Like, how do you promote music and stuff like that?
Like
How do you promote your music?
as a creator or as an artist?
As a, like song artist, how do you promote your music? Because it's really, I don't know how to.
I think right now in the social media era right now, you gotta really be on your phone, showing talent somehow. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's you're an artist, you're a producer, you're a writer. I think right now that's like the climate we in right now. You gotta show what you do. Not to say hope to get viral. You gotta be consistent with it. You just gotta keep posting, and hopefully a video get caught. All it takes is one video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then one video gets you a lot of different type of work. And people be hitting your phone up. Yeah, that's how I would go about it.
Consistency, boss.
Yep.
Yeah. Next question. What's your name, boss?
My name is Antoine.
Twan, what's up, bro?
Can you walk me through just like a production deal as far as how do you go about it with an artist and like what everything that it entails?
Like if you see it, like an artist that you like, you want to like do a production deal with.
Yeah.
I'm very humble when it comes to that because I feel like don't nobody want to sign with me, but most times the artists do want to sign. But it's mostly like you want to make sure that you're respected as a producer, so the artists don't really disrespect you, because the artists, they all about them at the end of the day. So I had the respect. That's how I didn't sign nobody until I had that respect on me, because
Yeah.
you're not about to be like telling me what the situation gonna be. You know what I mean? But most times I would find an artist that really wants to sign with you, that really ain't really looking for the money. They're looking for the opportunity. And I would present an opportunity instead of like a bag or something like that. It's more of that's a partnership.
Right.
The last artist I signed to a production deal was a partnership. It wasn't like you signed to me. It was more like, I respect what you bring to the table. This is what I bring to the table. Let's eat. And this is all this titles, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's all titles. It's really about who's gonna eat on what. If we do a deal, all right, I want to get my imprint. I want my label thing on this so I can bring other artists. It's little things you can work out, but sometimes when you do these deals where you got to front the money, front the studio, front everything for the artist, then you're taking majority share of the, so as long as the artist can understand that, this guy is fronting most of the bill, he's going to get majority share of what this makes, then I would sign that artist. But if an artist is like, well, it's super combative, I think you got to get your leverage up. When your leverage up, it's not going to be combative. It's more like, I'm with your program. Let's do it. Then you can lead and then get them to the right situation. But if it's like no leader, they don't respect you as a leader, then you can't lead them to the promised land.
Okay.
And it's going to be more of a headache, a hindrance than a
It'll
help.
be a headache.
You don't want that. Trust me. You do not want that.
Can you also do the flip side of just y'all made some records and then you trying to get it to a label, you trying to shop it? What does that entail?
It tells a lot of no's. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gonna hear a lot of no's, but I think these labels nowadays, they're not really looking for artists like that, like an email, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
they like you said, they lazy.
Lazy.
The artists got to be popping on their own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they just like, okay, now you're popping. We can globalize you now. We can bring you to the global and make millions off of you. But really, I think the artists need to have something buzzing on their own somehow. You need to get them a record booming, or maybe get them like a feature or something, like something in the city, something to get them buzzing. So the label can look at them like, okay, they booming in their city. Let's check it out. Let me look into the more depth of what the artist is. And they looking at the numbers. Okay, me in Milwaukee. Okay, this artist dope. Oh, this many monthly listeners. You know what I'm saying? The monthly listeners looking good. Then they get more interested into what you got going on, and then hopefully they'll be on your radar I mean, you'll be on their radar. And when you're on their radar, all it takes for one song or one viral video to go, and then they'll hit you up. But I think, what you think about that?
I think a lot of times everything is about leverage. So I remember an artist I was working with taking their material to different labels until one label, and there was something Kenny said about signing with somebody who believes in you over the amount of money. There was a label that believed in this particular artist that I was working with. And that artist wanted to sign with that particular label as well. But when the heads of that label showed interest in that artist, the labels that I went to, I personally went and sat into the office and played the artist's music for, weren't moved by it. I literally had emails from those exact same executives that I was there playing this artist's material for. But because this other company showed interest, now all of a sudden they wanted them. And they were trying to offer more money. But at that point, it goes back to what Kenny said. It wasn't about the money. It was about who actually believed in that artist. And because this label believed in that artist, regardless if this other label was offering more money, we were going to go with the label that believed in the artist over the one who had a bigger advance. Because one thing about an advance, it has to be recouped. And when that money is gone, it's over with. So, and the other label believed in this artist so much, they explained to me when I had a conversation with them, these other labels going to give you more money up front, but they're going to have a cap to blow your artist up on how much money they're going to give you, $500,000, $1 million. With our label, ain't no cap. We're going to spend whatever it costs to get the artist there. That's the kind of label you want to work with, because it ain't about how much money they put in your pocket. It's about how much money they put behind you. That's the label you want to work with, the one who's going to put whatever it takes behind you to make you this big artist, because it takes money to do that. And if you're a female artist, times that by 2 or 3, because you got hair and makeup, all that other type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? A male artist, you can get him a haircut, throw some necklaces on him, and it's over with. He out here. Don't even have to get him a haircut. Throw a hat on him. You good. You know what I'm saying? But a female artist, it don't work like that. So you got to think about it just like that. Who's going to put the revenue behind you, not who's going to give you money up front. All right? Appreciate your question.
Yes, sir.
We'll take one more before we get out of here. What's your name, boss?
Silky.Jose. Chad,
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Love
sir.
The opportunity, BMW Kenny. Thanks
What's
for
good, my
being
guy?
here. Man, just appreciate you being here.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
God.
Yes, sir.
The question, first off, you hit on some major points about ego and sharing is caring. And my question, just off a general consensus, when it comes to sharing is caring, assuming that everyone is at a similar status level, what's your ideal royalty splits or credits in regards to between the artist, the songwriter, production, manager, just in general there?
Oh, yeah. Break it down for y'all, man. Now, I always felt like, and I'm very fair with publishing because
Yes, he is. I'm a living
I
witness.
feel like people should get what they, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, the beat is 50. But whoever did the beat, y'all should do that fair. Now, if someone just laid a hi-hat on the beat, then he ain't going to get 10, 15%, you know what I'm saying? But if you're being fair, I feel like if I wouldn't work with a situation with somebody where they think they're going to put a hi-hat or a clap on my beat and want something, First of all, you got to put yourself in situations where people, they're going to equally contribute, every time y'all work. So then it's not really a problem of splitting it down the middle with everybody, whether it's 2 people.
Yep.
Sometimes today you got 5 producers, you know what I'm saying?
Beat, yeah.
It's ridiculous, but yeah. But I'm used to splitting nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like I usually make the beat, right? But if you split the beat 50, the hook is about 20, 25,
Yep.
depending on what the artist.
Right.
I always say if the artist is like a big A-lister and
Yep.
they demanding publishing,
Yep.
I feel like we should all hit it down the middle.
We should all split it. Yep.
Should all split it down the middle.
Yes.
But sometimes they'll put it on the writer to take the hit,
That's not fair.
and that's not fair at
At
all.
all.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like if the artist saying, yo, y'all want this record to be a single, you want me to be behind it, I need 20. You know,
Everybody should
20%.
yep.
So now y'all pie from 100 is really y'all splitting it from 80. Y'all
Yep.
need to do the percentages equally from the 80
Yep.
instead of the 100. Beyonce, I heard I ain't gonna say, but some artists take 50. You know what I'm saying? So you end up splitting 25 now for the producers, 25 for the writers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a record, for example, on Chris Brown Indigo album. It's a record called what is that record called? It's a record on the album with Juicy J, Juvenile. I did the second half of the beat. The first half of the beat was Scott Storch, his producers. So usually it would be 100%, you know what I'm saying? But we had to split 2 songs into 100%.
100%. So it start off with 50
Yeah,
per song.
because when they do those split songs, when you see a Travis Scott and they got 3 songs in one, that's considered 1 song. That's not considered 3 songs. So everybody get paid off that 100%. So me doing the whole beat on a usually would give me 50%. Splitting it with the artists and all the producers, plus splitting with the song before, I end up getting 7.5% off of doing a whole beat. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't normal. Every case is different. You know what I'm saying? But 7.5% on a song when you did the whole beat is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I was like contemplating the industry too, because I felt like
You're getting jerked.
the industry where I came in, where I can produce a song by myself. Now I'm on a song with 5, 6 producers.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of crazy as far as for people's pockets. So I don't condone it. You know what I'm saying? As far as like having a lot of people in the room, but try to keep it as minimum.
Yeah.
I think that's how you're gonna keep the publishing really great. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 1, 2 writers, 1, 2 producers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got a musician player, you want to give them some pub, being nice, I give musicians some pub too. 2.5, 5%, whatever, just for playing on the song, even though they'll try to hit them with a work for hire. You know what I'm saying? Just give them a little something so they can want to keep working.
Yep.
You know, people just be like so stingy with their bread or with a little percentage. That little percentage, man, just give it up.
Yep. Go a long way, man. Listen, we appreciate that question, bro. So we can wrap this thing up. Did anybody pay to get in here? If you paid, raise your hand. Nobody paid, right? Okay, cool. So in closing, I'm going to ask 4 people. Patrick, raise your hand, please. He can't because he's filming, but he just said I can't. The gentleman right there, I need 4 people to go to talk to Patrick about how sitting here with this genius has impacted you today. If you don't mind, since you didn't pay a dime to get here, Patrick's standing right there. I need 4 people to go talk to Patrick right after this about what they've learned, what they got out of speaking with this genius brother. Can we show sounds about BMW Kenny some love today?
Appreciate y'all, man. It was a
man,
pleasure.
He dropped some gems, man. You came a long way to drop these gems for free for people. This is what we call free game right here. So I want to thank everybody for showing up, for coming out. The audience is packed today, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Facebook Live, man. I appreciate everybody for that. And what I like to say in closing, and always in closing, a legacy is not what you leave for people. It's what you leave in people. So when you continue to do things like when Kenny comes to do things like this, and I continue to do things like this, it's because what we're doing is we're spreading our legacy and our wealth of knowledge that we've been through, and hopes that you're taking things from each one of us that you can use later on in your life. It may not be for 5 or 10 years, but you're able to use it in situations that's going to then create legacies for your family as well, like it has done for ours. You know, I like to say we live in our dreams currently, except we're not asleep. And I want to make sure that other people have the opportunity to do and see the world as we've seen it, fly around the countries, different countries for free to do things that we love to do, that we're passionate about. And if it can happen for us, I grew up on 16th and Atkinson. And if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. If it happened for Kenny, it can happen for you.
41st and Locust, man.
You see what I'm saying? So we from here. You know what I mean? I went to King. You know what I mean? So if it can happen for us, it definitely can happen for you. And one thing about a dream, it never expires. All right, thank y'all. Peace.
Peace.